Following one of the worst DLC releases ever, the Assassin's Creed Origins Hidden Ones DLC is out. How is it one of the worst ever? Well, it got released a fucking week early for some people by accident. As a result, some dickheads managed to get a hold of it, and then spoilers galore. Regardless of whether or not the release was any good though, the DLC itself is. So in this video, we are going to be reviewing the Assassin's Creed Origins Hidden Ones DLC. But before we get started, I'd like to apologise for the gameplay in the background being really random, because when I was going through the DLC, I was streaming it, and if I recorded it, it would have basically hammered the performance like a fucking builder on steroids. So instead of doing that, I'm just doing it this way. I apologise for being really bad at organisation and things. But that's okay, because what did you expect? I mean, look at me. Alright, enough trying to be funny shit, let's get into this review. So, the Hidden Ones DLC takes place 4 years after the conclusion of the Assassin's Creed Origins main story, taking us to a fresh feeling region, the Sinai Peninsula, a region oppressed by the Romans as they forced the Egyptian population into hard labour, even going as far as demolishing pyramids. Which, I don't know why you want to do that, come on. Those things are cool, leave them be. Fucking dickhead. Bayek is called to the Sinai by Tahira, an assassin we actually meet in the main Assassin's Creed Origins game. The reason for this calling is to help the people of the Sinai against their Roman oppressors. And if you want that in a more simple language, let's go kill some filthy Romans, neceti edet. Of course, Bayek accepts and goes to the Sinai because he can't resist killing people. And that's basically how the DLC starts off. Now, the story of the Hidden Ones DLC is not particularly long in itself, but if you do the side quests as you go through it, you don't feel as if you're dropping the story entirely and doing something else, but you feel as if these side quests are adding to that feeling of the overall journey Bayek is now on. So as a result, you could say that these side quests complement the story. Regardless of whether or not you actually bother with the side quests though, it's still made pretty clear that the Hidden Ones Brotherhood matures quite a fair bit in the DLC, becoming more like the Assassin Brotherhood as we know them. The DLC also introduces us to new characters, as well as reunite us with old ones. These characters were definitely interesting, although there's only so much development that can be done in 3 hours of story content. I enjoyed getting to know the Brotherhood around me in the Hidden Ones DLC. It didn't feel too washed out for what it was. These characters were definitely interesting and had something human about them, even if we didn't spend very much time getting to know them. As for the DLC's main antagonist Rufio, I did not feel as if he was explored enough, as the first time we properly see him, as opposed to hearing about him, we're killing him. But in fairness, the DLC made me want to kill him, so they achieved the one thing that you need to do with an antagonist: make the player hate them. And not in the that character was shit way, in the way of it will be satisfying to kill this guy because that's what this is building up to sort of thing. They make Rufio's negative effect on the Sinai blatantly obvious, so despite his lacking presence, there definitely is plenty to motivate the player to want to kill Rufio just as badly as Bayek does. I also found the assassinations of his lieutenants to be creative in their own way. For example, one of the lieutenants is dressed fuck, kill my family dog. One of the lieutenants is dressed as a standard captain, meaning that in order to kill him, you have to either massacre an entire fort or take ages stealthily killing all the captains, which is tougher than it sounds. The White Room confessions for these lieutenants weren't necessarily different in what you found out from them, but they were different in a visual sense as to what you saw, each of them saying that the Order is eternal while doing something relatively fucked up. Overall, I found the story of the Hidden Ones DLC to be short but concise. In my mind, quality over quantity, so I'm not too annoyed that it's quite a short story. Moving on to side quests, certain side quests have you recruit people into the Hidden Ones Brotherhood, one of which was a character we actually saw as a child in the Origins main story. To see him become a Hidden One added to that feel that the world around Bayek is changing, and Bayek has a huge hand in changing it. To me, this just consolidates Bayek's importance in the overall universe. I also found the overall quality of these side quests to be a lot better, but that might just be because there's not enough of them for things to get too repetitive, whereas in the main game there are a lot of side quests which involved carrying people out of restricted areas. Something I only had to do twice in this DLC. Obviously, if the sample size were to increase, so would that, but it was nice and fresh, and the side quests overall were relatively diverse. Though to be fair, the DLC could have probably done with a few more side quests, but I'm definitely not complaining about what we got. As for Bayek, he continues to shine in the DLC, Bayek was an incredible character in Origins, and he hasn't lost any of his charm. Abu Bakr Salim has nailed his performance once again, and proven yet again that Bayek is 100% worthy of a sequel. The new region, the Sinai itself, isn't overly large, but instead it is the size that it needs to be. It's definitely not tiny, and there's plenty to explore, so I think the Sinai was done the way it should have been. Not every DLC can be super high quality and match up to The Witcher 3's Blood and Wine expansion in size. As far as outfits are concerned, the DLC adds plenty of variants of already existing outfits that you can buy from any weaver in the Sinai or the base game. Beyond this, the only outfit is the Hidden One outfit, which is honestly way better than anything else in the game. I also found the colours on the new variants to be a lot nicer looking than anything that we saw in the base game. I'm a bit disappointed that there's only one freshly done outfit that looks nothing like anything else that we've seen, but at the same time I find the new variants to have much nicer colour schemes. Another minor thing that I can really appreciate about this DLC is that it's integrated into the save game, so you don't have to go to the menu to activate the DLC and play it as if it's a game on its own, like with the Jack the Ripper DLC, or the Tyranny of King Washington DLC, or Freedom Cry. You can go right ahead and go straight from finishing the main story into this DLC seamlessly, which is kind of a standard in RPGs. Now, if there's a minor thing that I found to be somewhat disappointing about this DLC, it's the soundtrack. To me, it seemed to be the same as the base games. Now, in certain places it worked just fine, but the DLC definitely could have done with its own unique score. And if it had one, something that's even more unique than what it had, because I personally couldn't tell if it was any different. But at least the original game score definitely fit the DLC, otherwise there could have been problems there. Overall, the Hidden Ones DLC is a great, decent sized expansion to Assassin's Creed Origins. Definitely worthy of the $10 asking price, the Sinai is a decently sized open world with plenty of things to do and a decent amount of side content, as well as a story in which we see the Hidden Ones develop further into the Assassins as we know them. The DLC furthers my belief that Bayek deserves a sequel and upholds the quality of the game itself. Therefore, I give the Hidden Ones DLC a 9 out of 10. This DLC is potentially the best DLC in the franchise so far, although I wish that said something. Assassin's Creed Origins was a quality game, a huge comeback from Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Unity before it, which honestly, although they weren't 100% terrible, they were definitely suffering from a lot of fatigue. The Hidden Ones DLC continues this rejuvenation, and hopefully the Curse of the Pharaohs expansion in March will do the same. And if Assassin's Creed continues to this quality afterwards, then the future for the franchise is looking very bright indeed. Like, this bright. Anyway guys, that is it for my review of the Hidden Ones DLC. I 100% recommend this if you've completed the Origins main story and find yourself wanting for more. This DLC definitely won't disappoint you. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I really liked it. So anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think about the DLC down in the comment section. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know why either way. Be sure to go ahead and drop me a follow on Twitter. I'd really appreciate that. And I will see you all very soon in another video at some point.